The Life of Yamcha from Dragon Ball. Yamcha is a main protagonist in the Dragon Ball manga and in the anime Dragon Ball, and later a supporting protagonist in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, with a few appearances in Dragon Ball GT. He is a former boyfriend of Bulma and the lifelong best friend of Puar. A former desert bandit, Yamcha was once an enemy of Goku, but quickly reformed and became a friend and ally. Brave, boastful, and dependable, Yamcha is a very talented martial artist, and one of the most powerful humans on Earth, possessing skills and traits that allow him to fight along his fellow Z fighters when major threats loom. Although he retired by the latter half of Dragon Ball Z, due to being largely outclassed by both his allies, namely the Saiyans, and their enemies, he's always present when a new threat approaches, and will occasionally lend a helping hand, thus proving himself to be a powerful ally in his own right. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Yamcha. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Background. Yamcha was born on March 20th, age 733. He met Puar in age 747, 2 years before the Emperor Pilaf Saga takes place. Emperor Pilaf Saga. Yamcha is introduced as a 16-year-old bandit that lives in Diablo Desert along with his companion, an anthropomorphic cat named Puar, and robs travelers who pass through. He ambushed Goku, Bulma, and Oolong in order to steal their money and capsules. When challenged by Goku, they fought with Yamcha using his signature technique, the Wolf Fang Fist, seemingly knocking Goku out. However, it only injured Goku. Then Goku starts to have the disadvantage when he starts to feel hungry, which drains his power. As Yamcha was about to defeat Goku, he spots Bulma and retreats due to his extreme fear of women. Yamcha returned to their camp that night, and while spying on them, learned of the Dragon Balls and their ability to grant a wish. He then decided to steal their Dragon Balls and make a wish to overcome his phobia, as he dreams of getting married. He and his companion Puar broke into the group's van that night to do so, but were foiled when the orbs under the sheet, which Yamcha thought were Dragon Balls, were actually the breasts of a nude and sleeping Bulma, causing him to leave in a stunned and confused daze. He attacked again the following day by knocking over the group's van with a Panzerfaust, but was again challenged by Goku and retreated when Goku damaged his vanity by knocking one of his teeth out. Yamcha's attack to the wagon had still done its damage, so Goku's group was forced to leave it behind and walk. As Shu had earlier planted a bomb in the van, which exploded shortly after it was abandoned, Yamcha's actions had inadvertently saved Goku. Realizing he could not beat Goku, Yamcha instead decided to let the group collect all 7 balls and then take the wish. He again came to the group, this time apologizing for his behavior, and gave them a car to make up for damaging their van. The car, of course, had a tracking device in it. While on the group's tail, Yamcha encounters a mysterious girl who destroyed a T-Rex, and was frightened by Yamcha and attacks him, causing him to retaliate and knock her out. Later, when eavesdropping on Goku's conversation with Ox King, he realizes that the girl is Chi-Chi, Ox King's daughter. Not wanting to face the wrath of an angry Ox King, Yamcha races back to the scene and apologizes to Chi-Chi, saying that he did what he did because he's crazy with love for her. He quickly hides when he sees Goku coming, and by luck witnesses Chi-Chi pull Goku's tail, exposing his weak spot. Yamcha returns to Fire Mountain and remains hidden as Goku returns with Chi-Chi and Master Roshi, the legendary martial artist who trained both Ox King and Goku's grandfather, Grandpa Gohan. He is awed by Master Roshi's display of the Kamehameha, an energy wave Master Roshi used with the intention of putting out the massive fire at Ox King's residence, but instead destroyed the castle and the entire mountain it was on. He also cannot help but be somewhat envious after Goku is chosen by Master Roshi to be his disciple. Yamcha continues to tail the group, letting it slip in front of Puar that he thinks Bulma has a beautiful voice, after they recover the 6th Dragon Ball from Ox King into a remote village. There, he has to intervene and help Goku after Bulma is turned into a carrot by Monster Carrot, the leader of the Rabbit Mob. He orders Puar to turn into a bird and rescue the hostage Carrot Bulma, while he takes out Monster Carrot's 2 henchmen. Working with Goku, the two recover Carrot Bulma and through Puar's trickery get Monster Carrot to change her back. Yamcha quickly hides again after this, letting Goku deal with the gang without having to worry about Bulma's safety. While watching Bulma's disappointment at his absence, Yamcha silently curses his shyness around her. When Shu ambushes Goku, Bulma, and Oolong, stealing 5 of their 6 balls along with destroying their car with his Pilaf machine, Yamcha has to again intervene, this time joining the group. They track the balls to Pilaf's castle, but are soon trapped. From a hole blasted through the wall by Goku, they witness Emperor Pilaf summoning Shenron, and Yamcha orders Puar to go with Oolong and stop it. Emperor Pilaf's wish is interrupted by Oolong, and as punishment, the group is moved into a giant solar oven-like cell to die the next day when the sun comes up. They are not contained long though before Goku transforms into a great ape and destroys their cell by the light of the full moon. To get the group to safety, Yamcha is forced to pick Bulma up despite his girl phobia. Just as Goku is about to crush Bulma, pinned by some rubble, Yamcha comes to the rescue and grabs his tail, stunning him long enough for Puar to transform into a giant pair of scissors and cut the tail off, returning Goku to his normal state. The next morning, with the balls now inert, the gang goes their separate ways. Yamcha and Bulma are satisfied though, as now they have each other, and therefore have no need to make any wishes. They go with Bulma back to the city while Goku goes off to train with Master Roshi. Tournament Saga. Excited about the martial arts tournament, Yamcha goes to the wilderness to hone his skills, much to Bulma's frustration. After a month, Yamcha returns and saves Bulma from getting hit by a truck. Bulma does not recognize Yamcha at first due to his beard and disheveled appearance. When she does realize it's him, she's both happy and annoyed that he did not call or contact her during his long absence. Yamcha next meets up with Goku at the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, where he says he had a haircut at Bulma's request. Yamcha easily makes it through the preliminaries and makes it to the quarterfinals, but is eliminated by Jackie Chun, who dodges all of Yamcha's attacks with the utmost of ease, and knocks him out of the ring by creating a powerful wind with a hand chop. This level of power, along with the physical likeness, causes Yamcha to suspect Jackie Chun is Master Roshi in disguise, and accuses him multiple times before Roshi solicits Nam to wear a fake beard and convince Yamcha that he is not Roshi. When Goku sees the full moon and turns into a great ape during his battle with Jackie Chun fires a max power Kamehameha in the ape's direction, despite Yamcha's desperate attempt to stop him. When the smoke clears, Goku is nowhere to be found, and Yamcha and his friends start to cry. Fortunately, it turns out Goku was just knocked out asleep. After Jackie Chun wins the tournament, Yamcha and the others celebrate by going out to dinner on Roshi's tab. Red Ribbon Army Saga. After the tournament, Yamcha returns to West City with Bulma and the others. Bulma gets angry at him because the other girls in the city are all over him. When Goku is flying on the Nimbus on a tour to the West City, he and Bulma through the microband come across Yamcha, Oolong, and Puar tell Goku that Bulma has been treating Yamcha badly. Yamcha says this is true, but he still likes her. Bulma resizes herself after hearing these comments, gets angry at Yamcha again, and heads alone to the Dreamland amusement park. Yamcha is upset by this, but goes with Goku, Oolong, and Puar to the amusement park anyway. On the way, the two save a Fortuneteller from thugs. However, it is actually Haski, a thief hired by the Red Ribbon Army to take the Dragon Balls. Haski has a bunch of failed attempts to steal the Dragon Balls, but no one catches on. Eventually, Goku leaves the Dragon Ball with Yamcha. Seeing her chance, Haski attempts to seduce him, but Yamcha finds out she's a fake by coming across the real Fortuneteller. Haski attacks Yamcha with a sword and he fights her off. Unfortunately, Bulma comes across them, and in her view it looks like the two of them are kissing. Bulma hurls a cabinet at Yamcha right as he beat Haski and stomps off. This allows Haski to tie up Yamcha and take the Dragon Balls, but not before revealing she planted a bomb in the park. Yamcha later helps Goku take care of Haski, get the Dragon Balls back, and defuse the bomb. But due to the incident with Bulma, Yamcha's already strained relationship with her was strained even further, and she left with Goku to find a new boyfriend with the Dragon Balls. Later on, after Goku defeats the entire Red Ribbon Army, Yamcha and the rest of the gang rush to help him in a helicopter, but they learned that their help ultimately proved unnecessary because Goku finished them off without them. Fortuneteller Baba Saga. Yamcha decides to accompany Goku and travels with him to see Fortuneteller Baba at her palace to learn the location of the last Dragon Ball to revive Appa's father, Bora. Fortuneteller Baba does not give readings free though, and will only do it after her 5 warriors are beaten. Yamcha faces her second warrior, see through the Invisible Man. Unable to see his opponent, Yamcha is unable to land a blow and is getting damaged. Yamcha then figures he can locate his opponent by sound of his footsteps, which initially works in allowing to land blows on the Invisible Man, but is foiled when Fortuneteller Baba starts singing to cover the noise made by the Invisible Man. Krillin thinks quickly though. He asks Goku to bring both Bulma and Master Roshi to the ring and then flashes Bulma's breasts to Master Roshi, causing him to have a massive nosebleed which covers the Invisible Man with blood. With his opponent now visible, Yamcha uses his Wolf Fang fist and quickly dispatches him. Fortuneteller Baba then takes the warriors to a new ring, the Devil's Toilet, which has a thin platform over a pool of powerful acid. In this arena, Yamcha battles his next opponent, Bandages the Mummy, who is a fast and strong mummy. Things look bad for Yamcha until he manages a quick sneak attack, tripping Bandages the Mummy off the ledge, though this is proved futile as Bandages the Mummy is able to use his bandages like rope and climb his way back up. They fight again, and again Yamcha is pummeled until he's held up by his neck before being tossed down towards the acid. Fortunately, Goku intervenes and saves him with his power pole. Goku takes over the fighting at this point and defeats Bandages the Mummy with one hit, as well as the rest of Fortuneteller Baba's fighters. It is not in vain for Yamcha though, as Master Roshi accepts him as one of his students. Tien Shinhan Saga. 3 years later, Yamcha competes in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament alongside his friends Goku and Krillin. While in the preliminaries, he has confrontational words with Tien Shinhan, the prize student of a rival school, who repeatedly mocks Yamcha and claims he will destroy him in the ring. When the finals are about to begin, Tien has his friend Chiaotzu use his psychic powers to fix the fight schedule numbering so that he and Yamcha can face off in the first match of the quarterfinals. At the start of their fight, they seem to be trading an equal number of blows. Yamcha then attempts his Wolf Fang Blowing Wind, but it is beaten by Tien, who parries the assault and counters with a quick punch to Yamcha's gut. Yamcha then decides to go all out and utilizes, to everyone's surprise, the Kamehameha. This is stopped by Tien, who reflects the attack back at Yamcha with a Ki, making Yamcha jump into the air. Tien also jumps and kicks Yamcha, knocking him out. However, Tien does not stop at that. Tien then shatters the unconscious Yamcha's leg with a diving knee attack. Yamcha is eliminated by KO and goes to the local hospital, with Puar turning into a carpet for Yamcha to lie on. In hospital for the rest of the competition, Yamcha listens to the remainder of the fights on the radio, and manages to be there for the fight between Goku and Tien. When Tien wins and decides to turn over a new leaf due to Roshi's advice, Yamcha is one of the first to clap for him. Later, when a reformed Tien apologizes for the unnecessary beating, Yamcha says bones can always grow back, and that he awaits their next bout. The two then forge a friendly rivalry and promise to meet again at the next tournament. King Piccolo Saga. Due to his injuries, Yamcha spends the majority of time on the sidelines. He is powerless to intervene as first Krillin, followed by Master Roshi, and then Chiaotzu are killed by King Piccolo. Tambourine attacks Yamcha as they battle at the training island. In part due to Yamcha's injured leg, Tambourine gets the upper hand, but Yamcha is luckily saved from death when King Piccolo calls Tambourine to go after Symbol's killer. When he learns of King Piccolo's takeover at the world capital, as well as Tien's seemingly suicidal mission to take him out, Yamcha joins in and races to the scene. He arrives with Bulma and Launch, only to find it a desolate wasteland. They soon encounter a battered Tien, who fills them in that Goku's actually alive and defeated the Demon King, although they heard on the radio that a small boy was fighting Piccolo and deduced that it must be Goku. Tien gave them confirmation. Yamcha then assists Tien in getting back to the Kame house to recover. Not long after, Goku quickly bursts in and announces that he's training with Kami before taking off again and recovering his power pole. This knowledge causes Yamcha to redouble his preparation for the next World Martial Arts Tournament. Yamcha trains along with Tien and the resurrected Krillin and Chiaotzu until Master Roshi informed them that to be able to reach Goku's level of power, they're going to need to find better ways to train than those available at the Kame house. After that, they all head to Korin Tower and train with Korin before going their separate way, preparing for the next 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Piccolo Jr. Saga. Yamcha next meets with the group at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. He has trained for the last 3 years for this tournament, earning his trademark scars in the process, and looks forward to the fights. Yamcha is present when Goku reunites with an adult Chi-Chi, and like the others, do not recognize her as an adult. After Goku remembered his proposal to Chi-Chi, she apologized to Yamcha for not marrying him, referring to Yamcha's false love confession, making Bulma angry at him. Yamcha makes it to the quarterfinals and must contend with a nerdy human named Hiro, and finds himself injured by what seems like accidental clumsy mistakes made by his opponent, like getting kicked in the kidney after Hiro supposedly tripped and landing on the back of Hiro's head, hurting his groin. When they both state that they will fight seriously, Hiro proves to be a fighter in a class well beyond Yamcha and quickly counters every move Yamcha makes. In desperation, Yamcha uses his secret weapon, the Spirit Ball, a powerful ball of guided energy. When it proves to be an effective attack, it is ultimately futile as Hiro, who is actually Kami, recovers from being hit with it and knocks Yamcha out of the ring. At the end of the match, Yamcha is oddly calm and congratulates Hiro on his win. Hiro says Yamcha has great skill and potential but needs to work on his focus and defense. Yamcha can only watch from there on out in awe at the massive power displayed in the fight between Goku and Piccolo Jr. at which he is powerless to intervene. When Goku eventually does defeat Piccolo Jr., Yamcha joins the others in celebrating his victory. Saiyan Saga. Over the next 5 years, Yamcha retired from fighting and became a baseball player on the team called the Titans, wearing number 00. Despite being the best player, he still longed for the days of being a fighter. After Goku sacrifices his life to defeat Raditz, Yamcha is summoned along with Tien, Chiaotzu, Krillin, and Yajirobe to train at the Lookout for the battle against Vegeta and Nappa. Yamcha and the rest of the Z fighters get an experience of how truly powerful Saiyans are when they use the pendulum room to transport their minds back in time to planet Vegeta 100 years in the past. Yamcha and the rest of the Z fighters are easily defeated by the might of Scarface and Shorty, despite Yamcha firing his most powerful attack, the Super Spirit Ball, during the battle. When they're transported back to the pendulum room, Yamcha and the rest of the Z fighters feel incredible fear and woe, now promising Mr. Popo that they'll get as strong as possible to defeat Nappa and Vegeta. After completing the training on Kami's Lookout, Yamcha trains on his own until the Saiyans arrive. Yamcha arrives at the battlefield just prior to the fight beginning. After Tien defeats one of them, Yamcha volunteers to do battle with one of Nappa's spawned Saibamen, in place of Krillin, who had already been revived once with the Dragon Balls. Yamcha's fight with the Saibaman is quite fast, and he defeats the creature with utter ease after evading its swipes from its claws and smashing it with a Kamehameha from behind. The creature was now believed to be dead as it was brutally beaten by Yamcha. But in a turn of events, it was just barely alive and gathered the remainder of its energy to leap and cling onto Yamcha and self-destruct, killing both Yamcha and itself in the process. His death devastates Bulma and Puar as well as Krillin, who swears to avenge Yamcha's sacrifice, and does so by destroying most of the Saibamen in utter contempt. Frieza Saga. Because of the influence of Kami after he died, Yamcha was allowed to train on King Kai's planet in the other world as Goku did earlier. Joining him were the other warriors who also perished in the battle against the Saiyans, Piccolo, Tien, and Chiaotzu. On King Kai's planet, King Kai tells Goku that they all crossed Snake Way in a far shorter time than he did, and that they all requested for tougher training than what Goku had received. Yamcha speaks to Goku through King Kai and tells Goku that he's aware of his plan to wish them all back to life using the Dragon Balls of planet Namek. He also says that Goku is a good friend, and Goku becomes overjoyed after hearing from his friends. Through King Kai, he's able to witness everyone's, Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, Gohan, Dende, and Piccolo fused with Nail, battle with the evil tyrant Frieza on the planet Namek. Yamcha takes on Rakume of the Ginyu Force, and similar to Goku, dispatches him with relative ease. When Goku is thought to have been killed in the destruction of Namek after defeating Frieza, Yamcha relays the information to everyone through Bulma. He is returned to life 130 days later in the first batch of witches from Porunga, and continues to live at Capsule Corporation with Puar, Bulma, and now Vegeta. Frieza-Androids Interlude. In the anime, while Goku is still out in the galaxy after his battle with Frieza, the Z fighters all came to Master Roshi's house for a get-together. During this time, he becomes possessed by the Blackwater Mist and becomes a mindless zombie who is loyal to Garlic Jr., along with the rest of the group except Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, and his new girlfriend Marin. Afterwards, he's brought back to normal along with everyone else after the sacred water was poured into the 7 air currents and Garlic Jr. was defeated. Not long after, he resumed his baseball career for a brief period. When a rebuilt Frieza and his father invade Earth, Yamcha is one of the defenders who prepares to confront him, although he's overwhelmed by the tyrant's power. He is just as amazed as everyone else when a mysterious youth suddenly appears and quickly destroys Frieza and his force. He listens to the youth, who claims that Goku will be arriving shortly, and after waiting for Goku's return, witnesses their sparring in awe. He was then filled in by Piccolo, who could hear the entire conversation between the two, that in 3 years, powerful androids will appear and kill everyone if they're not fully prepared. Goku invited Yamcha to train with him, but Yamcha refused, saying that he liked training at his own pace. Around this time, Yamcha drops a hint to Bulma that he's ready to settle down. Yamcha sneaks into the Capsule Corporation shuttle at nighttime to attempt to train in 300 times the gravity of Earth, so that he can prove that he is just as adept a fighter as Vegeta. However, after activating this gravity setting, Yamcha suddenly finds himself completely overwhelmed and on the verge of being crushed to death by the gravity. He ultimately manages to shift his head to the control deck to restore the gravitation level. Nevertheless, he spent the next 3 years in training for the android's arrival. During his training, Yamcha ends up distracted by various women working out at the gym he was currently training at, and a mishap with the weights resulted in him deeply reconsidering his training methods. During this time, he and Bulma break up once and for all. Android Saga. After the 3 years, Yamcha meets Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien at the location of the android's arrival. He also informs the group that the baby Bulma has with them is not his, and also stated that they'll be surprised as to who the real father was, with Goku managing not to only state accurately that the baby's father was Vegeta, but even reveal the baby's name as being Trunks to everyone's shock. Realizing that they cannot sense the androids after Yajirobe's car was shot down, the group splits up and searches the city for them. Yamcha is the first to find them, although he is initially unaware that the two are the androids until he spotted the older man, Android 20, having a red ribbon logo on his hat, and is quickly grabbed around the mouth by Android 20, draining his energy and preventing him from calling for backup or battling them, although not before attempting to yell to the other Z fighters that he has located them. Yamcha is then incapacitated after Android 20 punches a hole clean through his midsection. The sudden drop in his ki alerts the rest of the group though, and they arrive shortly after. Despite his mortal wound, Yamcha miraculously survives long enough for Krillin to whisk him away from the battle and feed him a senzu bean, healing his massive wound and recovering his strength. Though he does not want to fight the androids again, he chooses to tag along to watch the fight between Goku and the androids, and after Goku succumbs to his heart disease, Yamcha is the one to take him home to get his medicine. Yamcha soon after transports Goku to Kame House to hide him from androids 16, 17, and 18 after they set out to find him. Cell Saga. From watching the news, he hears of the new threat, Cell, a monster that goes around absorbing people. He aids Piccolo on the search for Cell by piloting an airplane so it would not detect their ki, but it constantly evades them. When the androids later arrive on Master Roshi's island looking for Goku, Yamcha stays behind with Tien and Shinhan while Piccolo goes off with them to fight on a deserted island. Later on, when Cell broadcasts his intentions to hold his Cell Games, a tournament of sorts with himself as the only opponent, Yamcha decides to accompany the fighters, but along with Tien decides not to participate. Yamcha does not get the opportunity to fight until Perfect Cell creates his Cell Juniors, who attack the Z fighters and quickly take out most of them, including Yamcha, who got his arm brutally broken in the battle. However, in the anime, both himself and Tien simultaneously got a hit on one of the Cell Juniors while protecting Goku. He quickly recovers after eating a senzu bean once Gohan defeats the Cell Juniors and spends the rest of the match as an observer. In the anime, nearing the end of the Cell Games, Yamcha, along with the rest of the Z fighters, help in distracting Cell long enough for Gohan to raise the power of his attack in an attempt to destroy the bio-android. Once Gohan finally destroys Cell, Yamcha carries Gohan back to Kami's lookout. He then makes the wish to resurrect everyone killed by Cell. When the group has difficulty thinking of a second wish, he jokingly contemplates asking Shenron for an expensive diamond necklace for the girl he's going out with. He and the rest of the group see future Trunks off as he leaves for his own time, and then they go their separate ways. World Tournament Saga. 7 years later, Yamcha attends the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament as a spectator since he gave up fighting professionally. Soon, the tournament is interrupted though as the other Z fighters leave, and then return with Vegeta now possessed by Babidi, an evil wizard. Yamcha manages to survive Vegeta's massacre along with his other friends in the crowd, barely escaping Vegeta's blasts. Majin Buu Saga. After Vegeta attacked the crowd, Yamcha went with Bulma and a few others to ask Shenron to bring back all the good-hearted people who were killed that day by Babidi and Vegeta. He then heads to the lookout to take refuge from the assault of the new terror, Majin Buu, and witnesses Goten and Trunks' first attempts at performing the fusion dance, and finally their success when they become Gotenks. A day later, Super Buu eventually finds everyone at the tower and allows them to live for a short time. When Super Buu escapes from the hyperbolic time chamber, Yamcha is quickly turned into chocolate and eaten with the others. In the anime only, Yamcha and Krillin go on to Grand Kai's planet, where Yamcha recovers his passion for fighting. It does appear that Yamcha has been training despite his lack of willingness to fight, due to the fact that he can stand against two of the North Quadrant's strongest fighters. Later, they have a brief fight with Kid Buu in the other world. After being resurrected, Yamcha's last real action in the series is giving Goku his energy to help form the spirit bomb that defeats Kid Buu. After the end of the Buu Saga, as he has the dilemma of loving women but not being good around them, Yamcha is still wandering blindly in search of the ideal partner he will not be nervous around. He has even worked in a host club, but because of his nervousness, it did not go well and he was fired. His livelihood is mainly working together with Puar as a freelance bodyguard, and he occasionally goes to Tien Shinhan's to help with the farm as well. God of Destruction Beerus Saga. Sometime after the battle with Majin Buu, Yamcha and Puar head towards Bulma's birthday, which is being held on a cruise ship where they encounter Krillin, Android 18, and their daughter, Marin. They are also flying to get there, as it was taking too long driving in a car. Yamcha and Puar later encounter Tien Shinhan and Xiaozu on the ship. When Beerus arrives on the ship, Yamcha is one of the first to introduce himself to Lord Beerus. He exaggerates his power, proclaiming himself as the strongest one on the ship. He roughly slaps him on the back, accidentally making the unguarded Beerus stagger slightly, which worries Vegeta that it might upset him, but Beerus just shrugs it off. Yamcha joins the crowd of people when Beerus eats the octopus balls served to him by Krillin, with one containing wasabi. They chant him on, encouraging Beerus to take a bite. Later, Yamcha joins several others as they board Bulma's space pod to get a better view of Goku and Beerus' fight. In the end, Beerus beats Goku, but he doesn't destroy the Earth because he falls asleep in the process. Golden Frieza Saga. Yamcha was killed when Frieza blew up the Earth. This event is reversed by Whis, doing his temporal do-over. Universe 6 Saga. Yamcha is traveling with Goku and the rest of the gang to the nameless planet where the Tournament of Destroyers is being held, and they're being taken there by Whis in his cube. After 2 hours and 45 minutes of traveling, they arrive on the nameless planet. Yamcha is a bystander and watches the tournament from the stands. He watches the first match between Goku and Universe 6's Botamo. He's later shocked along with everyone else when Goku is defeated by Frost. During Vegeta's match with Kaba, Yamcha points out similarities between Kaba and a young Goku he fought when they first met long ago. As Vegeta begins toying with Kaba, he shows some doubt that Vegeta has rid himself of all of his sinister qualities, but dismisses them once he realizes that Vegeta simply wanted to push the weaker Saiyan to increase his power. Yamcha then witnesses the entire tournament and is present with the Z Fighters as the wish with the Super Dragon Balls is made and they all return to Earth. Copy-Vegeta Saga. Yamcha attends Bulma's Universe 7 victory party and is tasked along with everyone else to keep Monaka's secret safe from Goku. After Goku fought with Monaka, Beerus wearing a Monaka costume, Yamcha accidentally points out Monaka passing out from the fight. After Goku sees that there are two Monakas, the other Z Fighters scorn Yamcha, and Beerus starts to grow angry, but calms down when Goku praises Monaka for having the ability to clone himself. The party then starts. Future Trunks Saga. During the baseball game between Universe 6 and Universe 7, Yamcha takes over pitching after Goku was nearly ejected from the game due to destroying the field, and Yamcha debuts a new technique for pitching, the Wolf Fang Pitching Fist, the speed of his Wolf Fang Fist with the control ability of the Spirit Ball, and uses it to near effortlessly strike out Universe 6 for the first half of Set 1, impressing everyone, especially Bulma, who begins to flirt with Yamcha again. When Universe 7 steps up to bat with Yamcha up first, who mouths off to Vegeta that he will not lose to him in baseball, Vegeta, who along with Goten were filling in for the missing Hit and Frost of Universe 6, pitches the ball into Yamcha's ribcage and then berates both Yamcha and Bulma for flirting with each other. However, this allows Yamcha to advance to first base, shocking Vegeta, who is surprised that he's not allowed to hit the opponents. Goku comes up to pitch next and both power up to Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta pitches as hard as he can and is shocked when Goku manages to overpower his pitch, proclaiming that he put all of his power into it. When Vegeta begins to fire ki blasts into the ball to give it more and more power, Yamcha makes a break for second, which causes Vegeta to stop attacking Goku and overpowers Vegeta's pitch but is caught out by Botamo, who throws the ball to Goten but misses him, so Yamcha makes another break to second base, but is struck by both Champa and Vegeta at the same time, but still made it to the base and is allowed to stay due to being attacked. When Gohan hits the ball, Yamcha makes a run to third base, but Champa again intervenes and stops Botamo from getting Gohan out and throws the ball at Yamcha, once again hitting him in the spine, but Yamcha once again makes it to the base, proclaiming he will not lose at baseball weakly from the ground. Beerus gets mad at Champa for playing dirty and attacking Yamcha, so the two gods begin to fight, with Goku recalling that if two gods of destruction fight, all of the universe will be destroyed. Everyone runs to Bulma's shield in an attempt to protect themselves except for Yamcha, who bravely makes a dash for home base during the Ki Barrage storm that was flying off of Beerus and Champa, which the blasts were destroying the entire arena. Whis and Vados stopped the fight, saying that it's taboo for gods of destruction to fight one another and called the game off, saying Universe 7 won. When Champa asked why, Vados points to home plate, revealing Yamcha successfully braved the Ki Barrage storm, winning the game for Universe 7, but was coincidentally laying inside the crater near death in exactly the same pose from when he was blown up by a Saibaman many years ago. Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo all pointed out as a bad memory. Yamcha weakly says that he is going to take a different kind of walk-off and collapse from his injuries. Universe Survival Saga. In the anime, at Capsule Corporation, Yamcha comes to visit right after Bulla is born, and he asks to hold her. However, Bulla starts to cry as he makes a funny face, and this enrages Vegeta into turning into Super Saiyan Blue. Yamcha overhears the conversation of Goku and Gohan about recruiting fighters for the Tournament of Power, and becomes convinced that he will be recruited also, and he heads home to wait for Goku to ask him. Yamcha is later seen at his house rehearsing his lines of initially refusing to join him, and then show up at the last minute, all the while still waiting for Goku. He and Puar are seen watching television in his bed until Master Roshi and Oolong arrive. Yamcha thinks Roshi is inviting him to join the team. The Turtle Hermit asks for Yamcha to tell Puar to transform into a young woman in order to overcome his perverted antics for the Tournament of Power. In the meantime, Yamcha asks Oolong if he's still getting recruited, and the latter responds with a maybe. At Capsule Corporation, Yamcha, Puar, and Oolong watch Team Universe 7 leave. Yamcha mentions that the universe's fate is in their hands. After the Tournament of Power ended, and with the erased universes restored, Yamcha and Puar are seen at the victory party held at Capsule Corp. He brings a teddy bear as a gift for Bulla. Galactic Patrol Prisoner Saga. After Jocko briefs everyone on Kami's lookout about Moro's gang arriving to Earth, Krillin suggested to Piccolo of asking for Yamcha's help. During the 2-month preparation against Moro and his crew, Yamcha was recruited by the Galactic Patrol, along with the other Z fighters, to help defend the Earth. Sensing the chaos from around the world, Yamcha goes off on his own after tracking the enemy's key, and he notices a squad of Galactic Patrolmen following her and leads them. Later in the city, Yamcha easily defeated and subdued 3 members of Moro Corps before heading off after tracking another source of key energy, which turns out to be Xiaoyogi. After being beaten around by the Brigade Advisor, he finds assistance from Tien and Chiaotzu, who join the fight alongside him. But even together, the trio struggle against their opponent. Fortunately, Goku suddenly teleports to the location and intercepts Xiaoyogi's attack before proceeding to take him down with a single blow. Goku asks if they were the ones who defeated the other escaped prisoners that were there, and Yamcha confirms that that is the case. Yamcha thanks Goku for his help and tells him that the others may need his help next. During the final battle between Goku and Moro, when Goku is having his energy drained, Yamcha and the others give their energy to Vegeta so he can pass it on to Goku in an attempt to revitalize him. After one final push, ode to Oob, Goku defeats Moro once and for all. Yamcha and the rest of his friends celebrate their hard-earned victory afterwards with a feast at Satan House. Peaceful World Saga. 10 years after Kid Buu's defeat, Yamcha is seen along with the rest of the Z fighters at the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament and witnesses the emergence of Oob, the good human reincarnation of Kid Buu. Yamcha is said farewell to by Goku just before he takes off with Oob to his village to train him. Baby Saga. Yamcha makes a cameo appearance in Dragon Ball GT in episode 34 back in the game. He is seen in a photograph alongside many of the other Z fighters. He is also seen among a group of people in an undisclosed area when they're taken to New Planet Plant because Earth is about to be destroyed due to the Black Star Dragon Balls. He returns to Earth when it's restored by the Namekian Dragon Balls and attends a party at Bulma's house with the rest of the Z fighters. Shadow Dragon Saga. By the end of Dragon Ball GT, Yamcha is seen fixing his car in the middle of the desert with Puar. He is seen in the final ending montage of the episode as well. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.